Hello dreamers, and welcome to the Sleepy Scholar, the podcast that helps you learn in your sleep. My name is Debbie, and tonight I'll be your guide. I'll stay right here beside you as you drift off into the realms of knowledge and dreams. Whether you want to fall asleep, unwind, or simply enjoy some quiet time, this podcast is for you. Join me on a dreamy exploration of St. Patrick's life, a tale adorned with shamrocks, serpents, and the verdant hues of Ireland. Together, we will journey through the historical and mythical realms of this revered patron saint. We'll trace Patrick's path from Britain to Ireland, unveiling the captivating chapters of his tale. Discover his roots, the gripping capture by Irish raiders, and the remarkable missionary work that left an indelible mark on Ireland. But the real magic happens when we step into the mythical realm, dive into the extraordinary stories, snakes vanquished, the Trinity revealed through shamrocks, and the Paschal fire ablaze on the Hill of Slain. These tales, though not strictly historical, offer dreamlike insights into Irish culture and spirituality. As we explore, we will also uncover why Patrick is an enduring figure, shaping faith and celebration worldwide. On St. Patrick's Day, we'll delve into global traditions and all while dispelling misconceptions about Patrick and the Irish. Let's embark on this dreamy odyssey where history dances with myth and the spirit of Ireland comes alive. So let's step into Pagan Ireland first and discover how Patrick changed Ireland, and indeed the world. I hope you will enjoy this episode of The Sleepy Scholar, and that it will help you to learn something new while you drift into a peaceful sleep. Remember to give me the old thumbs up and subscribe so you don't miss future podcasts. I would also love to hear your suggestions for future topics, so drop a comment below if there's something you'd like me to cover. I always love to hear from you. Now, before we begin, I invite you to find that perfect spot on your pillow. Close your eyes, and with each breath, imagine the gentle, rolling hills, the soothing sounds of a distant river, and the comforting embrace of nature. Our journey tonight is not only about historical reflection, but a serene escape into the tranquility of the Irish landscape. As we delve into the mists of history and legend, allow the soft rhythm of my voice to cradle you into a state of deep relaxation. Let go now of whatever has been going on today and give yourself permission to have some well-earned time to relax. Take a deep breath and allow the muscles in your neck and shoulders to unwind. Are you ready? Then let's begin. Picture yourself in the lush landscapes of Ireland, under a starlit sky, where legends intertwine with the whispers of the wind. Feel the soft grass beneath your feet, the cool breeze on your face, and the serene whispers of a meandering river. As we weave through history, let your imagination dance with the tales we unfold, creating a safe and personal sanctuary that will allow you to rest and relax. Before Patrick ever set foot on the Emerald Isle, the Irish people followed a different faith, one that was deeply rooted in the land and the seasons, in the cycles of life and death, and in the mysteries of the other world. This was the faith of the Celts, a diverse and complex culture that spanned across much of Europe and beyond. The ancient Celtic beliefs were polytheistic, believing in many deities, both gods and goddesses. Some found their devoted followers in small enclaves, while others garnered worship across vast landscapes. Among the revered figures in Ireland, we encounter the Dagda, the benevolent father of gods and bestower of abundance; Danu, the life-giving mother of the divine; Lugh, the masterful artisan of all crafts; Bridget, an embodiment of fire, poetry, and healing; Morrigan, an enigmatic goddess presiding over war, sovereignty, and fate; and Manannán, the guardian of the seas and of the gateway to the otherworld. The Celtic religion extended beyond the divine hierarchy. An animistic perspective imbued every corner of nature with spirit and soul, fostering a belief that humans could communicate with and influence these ethereal entities. The Celts held a deep reverence for the natural elements: the sun, the moon, stars, fire, water, earth, and air, and the sacred landscapes, from mountains and rivers to lakes, springs, forests, and ancient trees. Unlike religions with written doctrines, the Celtic faith thrived on a rich oral tradition. Myths, legends, stories, and poems were passed down orally through generations, elucidating the world's origin, the nature of gods, heroic deeds, voyages, battles, romances, and the wisdom of sages. Guiding this spiritual journey were the Druids, a revered class of priests and priestesses, custodians of sacred knowledge. They served as mediators between the divine and the human, advising kings and nobles. Druids assumed diverse roles: teachers, judges, healers, poets, seers, magicians, and ritual leaders. Their path required a rigorous 20-year training, shaping them into masters of their craft. The Celtic religion was celebrated through various festivals and rituals, which marked the important events of the year, the seasons, and the life cycle. The 4 major festivals were Samhain, Imbolc, Bealtaine, and Lunasa, which corresponded to winter's start, spring's emergence, the peak of summer, and the onset of autumn. These festivals were times of joy and festivity, but also of reverence and sacrifice, as the Celts honoured their ancestors, their gods, and their spirits, embracing the ebb and flow of life. A dynamic and creative faith, Celtic paganism embraced life's paradoxes and mysteries, balancing the masculine and the feminine, light and dark, order and chaos, human and divine. It shaped and was shaped by Ireland's culture and history, until the advent of a new faith that would challenge and forever change its course. And so we come to the man who would be central to this shift in culture. Patrick's life unfurls through 2 sacred manuscripts, his Confession and his letter to Coroticus. These ancient scrolls offer a glimpse into the essence of a man who, born in the waning days of the 4th century in Britain, transcended humble origins to become a devoted harbinger of the Christian gospel in uncharted and at times inhospitable realms. Patrick, not native to our island, but born into a Christian Roman lineage in what is often suspected to be modern-day Wales, traversed early years marked by a tepid fervour for his faith. His candid confessions bared his soul, admitting ignorance of God and acknowledging his guilt for disobedience and sin. At 16, a seismic shift reshaped Patrick's destiny. Irish raiders, in a tumult of chaos, stormed his home, leading to his captivity. Sold as a slave, he endured 6 years as a shepherd in Ireland, facing hunger, dangers, bitter cold, and the heavy solitude that only the vast Irish landscape could bear witness to. In the crucible of hardship, Patrick turned to prayer, seeking solace in the presence of the God of his Christian faith. His days and nights echoed with fervent pleas, and in his solitude he not only found resilience, but also developed an understanding of the Irish language and culture, a gift that would later prove invaluable. God, as Patrick recounted, opened his eyes to his own ignorance, instilling in him a profound love and respect for the pagan Irish people. Amidst this tumult, a dream unfurled. a vision of a ship poised to bear him home. Interpreting this as a divine sign, Patrick embarked on a daring escape, traversing roughly 200 miles to the coast. There he persuaded a ship's captain to take him aboard, reuniting him with his family and friends who had mourned him as lost. Grateful for his deliverance, Patrick resumed his life, but was driven by an unquenchable thirst for a deeper understanding of God. Opting for a path of religious education, he studied under various bishops and monks, ultimately achieving ordination as both priest and bishop. A defining moment of inspiration arrived in another dream, where Patrick saw a man named Victorious bearing a letter titled "The Voice of the Irish." Voices rose from the parchment, imploring him to return and share the Christian message. Recognizing this as a divine call, Patrick embraced the challenge and prepared for his mission. In the year 432, Patrick returned to Ireland with a small group of evangelists, facing challenges from pagan kings, druids, and even skepticism from fellow Christians. Undeterred, Patrick was ready to endure suffering for the sake of his faith and what he deemed the salvation of the Irish people. His impact was profound. Patrick converted thousands, baptizing them in the name of the Holy Trinity. Establishing churches, monasteries, and ordaining priests, he became a beacon of Christianity in Ireland, melding the old pagan ways with the new faith. Details of Patrick's death are veiled in mystery. Tradition holds that he passed away on March the 17th, 461, at the age of 76, though some scholars argue for an earlier date, perhaps around 460. Buried in Downpatrick, County Down, Patrick's legacy endures. Celebrated annually as millions honour him around the world as the patron saint of Ireland. Though the exact location of his grave remains uncertain, tradition ties it to a site near the Cathedral of Downpatrick, marked by a large stone slab inscribed with Patrick. While medieval hagiographies recount tales of Patrick's life, shaped by religious or cultural intent, they reveal him as a man of humanity, courage, and profound connection with the Irish land and its people. His writings unveil his humility, sincerity, passion, and faith, marking him as one of the earliest and most influential figures of Irish Christianity. As we have seen, the historical Patrick was a complex and fascinating figure who lived in a turbulent and transformative time in Ireland's history. But over the centuries, his life and legacy have been embellished and mythologized by various sources and influences, such as oral tradition, folklore, hagiography, medieval literature, and popular culture. These stories have created a rich and colourful image of Patrick, but they also differ significantly from the historical facts. But let's set aside historical accuracy for a moment and delve into these fascinating myths, which reveal a Patrick both historically complex and mythically vibrant. Among the enduring tales, the legend of Patrick banishing snakes from Ireland unfurls before us like a dream. According to the story, Patrick used his staff, a vessel of divine power, to banish all the serpents from the island after they attacked him during a 40-day fast on top of a mountain. This story is often seen as a metaphor for Patrick's conversion of the pagan Irish to Christianity, as snakes were symbols of evil and paganism in the biblical tradition. However, there is no evidence that our island ever had any snakes, and the legend likely originated as an allegory, enhancing Patrick's miraculous aura rather than recounting factual events. Another enchanting myth about Patrick is that he used the delicate shamrock, a 3-leaved clover, to explain the concept of the Trinity to the Irish people. The Trinity is the doctrine that God is one being but 3 persons, the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Patrick supposedly picked a shamrock from the ground and showed it to the people, explaining that each leaf represented a person of the Godhead, but they were all part of the same plant. This story is often cited as an example of Patrick's skill and creativity as a missionary, and his ability to adapt to the Irish context and culture. This poetic imagery, absent from Patrick's own writings, reflects a later tradition intertwining the sacred symbol with Patrick and the essence of Irish identity. Amidst the enchanting glow of a moonlit night, we find Patrick again, this time perched on the hill of Slane. The world hushed in a sacred stillness. In a daring act of defiance, Patrick ignited the Paschal fire, a flickering homage to the resurrection of Christ on the eve of Easter. The High King, Lyra, had dictated that no other fire should precede the monarch's, which would challenge his authority and sovereignty. In spite of this, Patrick's fire danced into existence before the king could set alight his own at Tara. In response, the king dispatched his formidable entourage of warriors and wise druids to apprehend Patrick and quench the unruly blaze. Yet the divine cloak of protection enshrouded Patrick's flame, rendering it impervious to mortal intervention. Defying the king's decree and eluding the attempts of his emissaries, Patrick's fire flickered with a supernatural strength. The king, compelled by an unspoken force, beckoned Patrick to his court. At Tara, Patrick's courage and eloquence weaved a spell that transcended the boundaries of nature. The king, captivated by Patrick's charisma, bore witness as many of his courtiers, their hearts swayed, converted to Christianity. This story, rooted not in contemporary accounts, but in later chronicles, emanates from a source that sought to cast Patrick as a hero of unparalleled charisma, a luminous figure who, against all odds, challenged and triumphed over the pagan forces he sought to replace. In a meeting between myth and culture, Patrick engages with Oisin and Cuilche, the last vestiges of the legendary Fianna warriors. Picture Patrick traversing the rolling hills and the ancient forests, where whispers of the Fianna's deeds linger in the wind. As he journeys, the warriors materialize before him like visions from a bygone era. Oisin and Cuilche, with voices rich in the wisdom of ancient ballads, describe the adventures of their lives and the wonders of the Fianna. The legendary leader Fionn MacCool emerges as a spectral figure in their tales, an ancestral thread connecting Patrick to a mythical lineage. As the warriors' tales unfold, the mythical veil parts, revealing the sacred land of Tir na Nog, where Oisin's heart entwined with that of a fairy princess named Niamh. Patrick, a captivated audience, absorbs the fantastical narratives with a blend of interest and respect. Yet, beneath the surface, a subtle dance unfolds, a dance of persuasion and transformation. Patrick, the emissary of a new faith, seeks to entwine the pagan past with the burgeoning Christian present. In the quiet moments, he urges Oisin and Cuilche to embrace the beckoning call of Christianity, leading them to the waters of baptism. Again, this story was invented much later after Patrick's death. It was composed as a symbolic encounter between the ancient and the emergent, the pagan and the Christian, the mythical and the historical. The story finds its roots not in historical chronicles, but in the poetic verses of the Fenian cycle, a collection of tales and poems immortalizing the exploits of the Fianna. It stands as an artistic endeavour to forge connections and contrasts, linking Patrick to the legendary band of warriors and cementing the new religion in the ancient narrative. Another cherished account, one of my favourites, is a tale of Patrick's divine staff, which was crafted from ash. One day, while travelling the country, Patrick leaves his staff in the care of a local man as he is called away. Years pass, and upon his return, a verdant surprise awaits. Patrick beholds a majestic ash tree, roots delving deep into fertile soil, branches reaching for the heavens. The tree becomes a source of wonder and reverence in the eyes of the people, a living embodiment of Patrick's presence. This tale paints Patrick not only as a preacher of the faith, but as a planter and nurturer, connecting him in a very tangible way to Ireland's soil. The sacred connection between Patrick and the flourishing ash tree speaks of harmony with nature, just like the pagan origins of the people he converted. Perhaps this story emerged from a later storyteller's desire to associate Patrick with the sanctity of a sacred tree, a deliberate attempt maybe to reconcile the nature-centered echoes of Celtic paganism with the burgeoning Christian faith. Legend also holds that Patrick crafted a special prayer known as the breastplate of Patrick or the lorica of Patrick, a shield of words he intoned for protection and strength in the shadow of his encounter with the king at Tara. This prayer invokes the presence of God in all life and aspects of nature, from the sun, the moon, the wind, the fire, the rock, the sea, all the way to the angels, the saints, and beyond. Within the verses, Patrick's profound faith and trust in God are apparent, a testament to his unwavering readiness to confront any peril or adversity in the name of the gospel. Regarded as a masterpiece, this prayer is incorporated into the Christian tradition, celebrated for its beauty and inspiration. It stands as a reflection of Patrick's spirituality and worldview. Yet, as with many of these tales, the origins of this prayer remain veiled. No evidence links Patrick directly to its creation or recitation during this time. Instead, its first appearance graces a manuscript from the 8th or 9th century, a composition possibly influenced by diverse sources and traditions, Celtic, Roman, Eastern. Though its origins may rest in later manuscripts, the prayer encapsulates Patrick's imagined spiritual prowess and courage in facing life's challenges. As we navigate these tales, it becomes clear that while their historical accuracy may be debatable, their significance lies in their role as cultural artifacts, shaping Irish identity, spirituality, and folklore. Patrick transcends his historical roots, emerging as a symbol and patron of Ireland, an enduring source of inspiration that challenges and resonates with us today. As we embrace these myths, we glimpse the collective imagination, faith, and spirit that have etched Patrick's legacy into the very fabric of Irish culture. In their dreamlike cadence, these fables meander through the annals of time, gently serenading us into a calm and restful night. We've delved into the life and legends of Patrick, uncovering both historical and mythical facets of his personality and mission. Yet the reliability of these sources and tales raises questions. How do they align with the broader context of Christian and pagan traditions in Ireland and beyond? What precisely defines our celebration of all things Irish each March? While Patrick is widely regarded as a pivotal figure in Irish history, credited with introducing Christianity and shaping Irish society, these claims rest on scant and questionable evidence. Patrick's own writings, the Confession and the Letter to Coroticus, offer a limited glimpse into his life and work. Though valuable, they lack detailed context and are naturally subjective, reflecting Patrick's perspective without external verification. Still, they provide a unique insight into Patrick and the Irish of that era. Other sources and stories about Patrick, while captivating, are much later and less reliable. Rooted in oral tradition, folklore, hagiography, medieval literature, and popular culture, they offer imaginative expressions of faith and culture. Filled with exaggerations and contradictions, these stories often mirror the biases of their authors and audiences, yet undeniably possess an entertaining and symbolic quality. Crucially, Patrick wasn't the solitary or initial missionary in Ireland. His role was part of a broader Christianization process, involving numerous individuals like Palladius, Shachnal, Brigid, Columba, and Columbanus. His impact on the Irish Church, society, and politics was shaped by existing cultural dynamics, including Celtic, Roman, Germanic, and Viking influences. Contrary to a simplified narrative, Patrick's relationship with pagan traditions was nuanced. He didn't eradicate Irish pagan beliefs, but engaged with diverse religious expressions such as Druidism, animism, polytheism, and syncretism. He incorporated elements from these traditions into his Christian message, showing respect for the sacred sites, embracing natural symbols, celebrating seasonal festivals, and recognizing ancestral figures. So we discover that Patrick's historical and cultural legacy is complex and contested. Interpretations vary among different groups and individuals across continents. He has been used for political, religious, nationalistic, social justice, and cultural tourism purposes. Celebrated on his feast day, the 17th of March, Patrick is both revered and questioned. We have examined Patrick's life and legends, revealing the historical and mythical aspects of his mission. Patrick is a key figure in Irish history, who is said to have brought Christianity and shaped Irish society. But these claims are based on scarce and dubious evidence. Patrick's own writings, the Confession and the Letter to Coroticus, give us a brief look at his life and work, without much context. However, they also show us a rare perspective of Patrick and the Irish people of his time. There are other sources and stories about Patrick, but they are less trustworthy and more recent, coming from oral tradition, folklore, hagiography, medieval literature, and popular culture. These stories are full of embellishments and inconsistencies, reflecting the views and interests of their writers and readers, but they also have a fun and symbolic appeal. Patrick's role as a missionary in Ireland was not isolated, but part of a wider Christianization movement that involved many others. His influence on Irish church, society, and politics was affected by the existing cultural forces such as Celtic, Roman, Germanic, and Viking. Patrick's relationship with pagan traditions was not simple, but nuanced. He interacted with various religious expressions and integrated some of their elements into his Christian message. Patrick's historical and cultural legacy is complicated and disputed, with different interpretations among different groups and individuals around the world. Patrick is both honoured and challenged on his feast day, the 17th of March. As we celebrate our heritage and identity, we must aim for constant progress, promoting hope and optimism for our future possibilities. Thank you for listening to this episode of The Sleepy Scholar, where we explored the life and legends of Saint Patrick and how they reveal the historical and mythical aspects of his personality and his mission. We talked about the impact and the legacy of Patrick on Ireland and on the world, both historically and culturally. I hope you enjoyed this episode, and I hope you learned something new and interesting about Patrick and Ireland. I also hope you feel a connection with Irish culture, identity, and spirituality, no matter where in the world you're from. Let's carry with us the appreciation for Patrick and a continued openness to diverse cultures and beliefs. These stories serve as gentle reminders to approach others with respect and compassion. I've really relished exploring this topic, and I hope you have too. Thank you so much for joining me tonight on this episode of The Sleepy Scholar. May your night be serene and your sleep be restful. Ihawai, good night, and happy St. Patrick's Day.